Welcome to Brave Conversations, a podcast meant to amplify voices that are not heard in some places. Today, we are going to talk about imposter syndrome through the lens of mature students. The feeling that you're too late or you're not somehow meant to be here. Today, joining me is PK and Sham. And these are two of our students who bring honesty and reflection into what it means like to be a mature student in university and carrying the honesty and doubt as well as resilience with you. Welcome to the podcast, and we are glad you are here. So, to start with, could you begin by sharing a bit about yourself and what made you return to education?
So hi everyone. My name is Peculiar, or PK for short. I'm 21. I'm technically a mature student. And my journey is a bit of an interesting one. I was actually born in Nigeria. I moved to Scotland first, and then came down to Leicester after that. Been in Leicester since. You know, did my standard kind of education up to A levels. And then I kind of finished my A levels, and I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go next. Like I had options. I studied maths, computer science, physics, and financial studies at A level. So pretty a lot of different ways and avenues I can go down. Um, pardon me. But I wasn't too sure which direction I wanted to take. But one thing I did know I wanted to do was make money. I got to be really honest about that. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I actually went into work first for therapy about 2 years. Got into all sorts of jobs, but mostly backgrounds in like sales, retail. And picked up a lot of skills. Got to travel a bit as well, which is so pivotal to my growth as an individual. And then kind of been doing some jobs for a while. And one thing that my parents, we've always kind of talked about education and, coming from the background I come from, it's a massive thing. Um, and originally, on this real, I wasn't so sure if I was going to come to uni. But I decided if I'm going to do it, it's better to do it now than do it later. Because life's only going to get more busier. Like not married, I don't even have kids yet, whatever. So it's only going to get harder to do it the longer I wait. And so decided to come back to uni, pick a subject, position myself in a great industry. So for context, studying computer science, and then kind of live out the journey and make the most of the 3 years that I'm going to be here going forward. Um, Also during the course of that as well, started a movement as well. For people like myself, forward thinking, trying to do some more stuff, trying to make more out of life for themselves, and to just bring people together. People like myself on a similar journey, but also people coming after as well. Um, and yeah, man, that's where we're at. Now we're here, you know what I'm saying?
That's amazing in yourself.
Uh, my name is Sham. I'm originally from Poland. I moved to England in 2012. And since then, I've been working mostly in a hospitality industry, but I burned out at this kind of job, so I decided to get back to my original work career, which was graphic design, but unfortunately, it's mostly taken over by AI at the moment. So that's why I decided that probably that will be the best pick for me. A couple years ago, I've been doing management apprenticeship. It forced me to repeat pretty much all exams like on GCSE levels. And so when I passed all those exams, I had a conversation with my brother's boyfriend who studied some business accounting or something like that. And it turns out that the same curriculum he has on uni, I've been doing on this apprenticeship. So I was like, well, probably I can handle it. So that's why I decided to get back to school.
That's really interesting. And how did you feel when you first came into university as a mature student?
Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I was very, I guess, 50-50 split between being nervous and being excited as well. I was excited because, it's a new season of life, new opportunities, so many different things that I could be getting involved with. Obviously, I'd had a look at some of the programs that are offered here that I could, get involved with and use to develop myself. But I was just looking forward to meeting people, smashing some opportunities as well. But I was nervous. I was so nervous because I was like, okay, so I'm coming to this journey. Most people my age are in their final year, and finishing, graduating soon. So I was really worried about how things will go for me socially. Don't get me wrong, social person, love to talk. But like different age groups and different experiences. Like I was gonna be like the uncle of the group. It's crazy. But I was also nervous about actually making that return to learning, studying, and actually being a student again. Not that I wasn't a student like in my workplaces, but this was a different level of education from way back when. So a bit of that mix, nervous and excited. But now looking back on it, I'm really grateful actually.
That's good. And yourself?
Me the same. I was terrified on my first week. When I first went into the class and looked around, I was like, I'm pretty much older than tutors. Yeah, but after a while, I think it's all gone. Now I'm not feeling any like pressure or anything like that.
That's pretty much similar to how my experience was because I moved from a different country as well. Although I can't relate much, but it was like I was nervous. I was terrified as well because I don't see people similar to me or I don't know anyone there. But moving forward, what was the first time that made you, what was the moment that made you realize that I don't belong here? Like, when did you feel it?
I think it was when I went for my first lecture actually.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because, obviously, you know, top student, get in early, get seated and all that kind of stuff. And like when I started uni, I wasn't starting it with friends, with anybody. It's like, even though I didn't have to like move from somewhere else, um, relatively speaking, I was still starting by myself. So I came into my lectures and, a lot of people already kind of have their friends. They probably come from similar-ish places, even some of the international students as well. They know each other, they speak each other's language or they help each other out, rare like that. Um, I didn't have any of that. I didn't have people that I knew. I didn't have people that had come from maybe the same place as me. Didn't have people that spoke my language. Didn't have none of that. Um, so with all the kind of, I guess, nervousness that I already had, um, I was not myself when I first started. I was very like very closed in, very much in my shell sort of thing. Which was very unusual for me. And it's in that moment where I first felt like, yo, this is new. This is very uncomfortable. This is a bit different to what I'm used to. And I would say that was like my first kind of whoa kind of moment. Yeah.
And yourself?
When I came to my first classes, I already realized that there've been like some groups of people that already get to know each other. Uh, Groups of very young people comparing to me. I was like, am I gonna fit in here in any way? Because obviously I was already aware there would be some kind of uh, group activities like group projects, presentations, and stuff like that. So I was like, am I gonna find anyone to work with in this kind of projects? It's like maybe it wasn't actually a good idea, but after about 2, 3 weeks, I get to know those people and we kind of have the same vibe, so it all turned out good.
Did you find it hard to make friends?
Not not really, to be fair, because it's an international year zero where I'm at the moment. So all those people are from all different parts of the world. We got some people from Africa, from South America, from Australia, Asia, some people from Europe. There's even two people from Poland. So it was rather easy to get to know each other and work together. No, I think it was rather easy.
What do you think as a mature student is the good and the bad side of being a mature student in a university?
It's a great question. I think for myself, particularly because I went into work first, I developed a lot of skills that make uni life so much easier. So some examples, just things like time management. Being able to manage your time is the single most high return on investments you can learn. Oh my God. Because if you learn how to manage your time, you essentially learn how to manage your life. And so like having gone into the working world, like I was on my lectures, everything that I needed to be, every place that I needed to be, I was there on time. And and because I knew how to manage my time for not just my lectures, but also my study time as well, it also meant that I could make time for meeting new people, going to events, making some new friends, which ultimately makes the uni experience a lot more enjoyable, because you're not on your own anymore. You know what I'm saying? Um, but like, so yeah, time management. I could talk about time management for days. If you see, my calendar and everything, yeah, love it. But even just kind of, for me also learning how to talk and present yourself a lot as well. So like, because I have a bit of a background in sales, a lot of what we do is about talking to people, meeting people, talking to people, having that kind of interaction with them, which I'm not gonna lie, it saved me when it came to like meeting people and making friends, making introductions, talking a little bit about myself, and also sharing my story as well. So yeah, those two things made it easier for me.
Or what about the other side of it?
I think it is that initial fear that we kind of talked about. That's the kind of, I think that's the thing that gets people the most. Once you overcome that, things will actually, they tend to get a lot easier. But then also depending on kind of where you are as a mature student, because like for me, like I don't like have kids or anything like that. Some students do. So there's managing that kind of things as well, looking after everyone else while still, you know, trying to do well in your education. Because you got to balance that because you start this journey for however many years it's going to be. And by God's grace, I'm assuming people plan to do well. So that requires time dedicated to your academics, but also not neglecting things like family, things like work at the same time.
Yeah, time management is really hard, especially when I have children. I got this part-time job. I still have to come to classes, and yeah, it's really hard to wrap all this thing around my head. Calendar, if you have children, have to make this tiny space for correction. Yeah, because kids getting ill,
Sure.
something's happening. You have to go to school and speak with the teacher about something that happened, and uh, you need to constantly being on the phone if anything happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's quite of an experience.
It's hard finding that balance, and especially your calendar needs to be really flexible for that reasons.
Literally. I think one thing that I always talk about when it comes to time management is, like you said, you can't, like, I don't plan my day to like the millisecond, uh, pardon me, purely because things can happen. You know, like some of the things you plan to do in a day, maybe you wake up, maybe you're feeling ill, maybe there's other people that are involved as part of that as well. So you've always, like you said, got to leave that room for flexibility. You never know what might happen. Like say for example, there's some things that I was planning to do this, like do this week, dedicate this week to. But this opportunity came up. I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. So I was like, I now have to make room kind of thing, kind of flex things around that, which I was very grateful for.
Amazing. So, coming to comparison with some young people, do you find yourself comparing with the speed, energy, or the confidence of younger students?
Mm. Well, I mean, I'm still relatively young myself. But in terms of comparison, yeah, it's a very dangerous game to play. In fact, I advise not playing it at all.
Yeah, indeed, I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's one of those things, and super cliche to say, but literally everyone has their own journey.
Yeah.
And one thing that I kind of learned in that period where I was working, was learning to play my own game. Ultimately, it's my life that I'm living. And it was hard. It was very hard because, like I'm watching people around me do amazing things, get involved with different things. And sometimes I sit down and I reflect on like, what if I had chosen to go to uni straight away? And not go into work and do all these things. Sometimes I still have those thoughts. Um, but one thing that I've learned over time is that no matter what, you can only control what you do.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you have power over. And it's very popular saying that comparison is the thief of joy. And again, super cliche, but so true. Doing your own, like you're worrying about somebody else's lane when you should be driving in your own. And a lot of the time, if you're driving, if you're worried about what somebody else is doing with their own car, you kind of forget what you need to be doing with yours. Now people talk about grass being greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. Again, it's super cliche, but so true because you spend the time watching all of these other people do these amazing things. I'm the kind of person like I see all these things. I'm a very visual person. I see all these things and I'm like, if they can do it, why can't I also do it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that requires me to take action on my lane, not spend all my time watching what's happening in theirs. Yeah.
That's such a good approach, to be honest, because you can't control what others are doing. Focus on your own journey, be your own driver.
So I'm trying not to compare myself to anyone because, as I said before, that's a very divergent group of people
Yeah.
uh, from different parts of the world who receive different, maybe not kind of hard to describe it, like different approach to education. Maybe
Yeah.
there's different countries teaching in a
Ways.
different ways. So even people from my own country who I'm studying with, there's me in my 40s, there's a girl in her late 20s, and there's a very young guy like 18 or something, and each one of them received different kind of education back in Poland. So it's hard to compare, so that's why I'm not trying to compare myself to others.
That's a really amazing approach. But to the students who compare themselves with the younger students, do you think it's fair? It's a fair approach.
Not at all.
But it ends up being that you play those mind games and your mind goes like, oh, he's doing this. What if I would have done that? Like, any message for those students?
I think it's important to remember, like you're saying, people who've been on their different journey, they come from very different places. And one thing that I've realized through myself, but also speaking to a lot of other students as well, mature or like not mature students, I guess, um, is that you will often find out that you have some sort of advantage or competitive advantage over other students.
Yeah.
Um, and whatever that is will be very unique to you. So I've met a lot of students, like for myself, I'm very outspoken. A lot of students that I meet aren't like that. So that's my kind of comparative advantage compared to these other students. I have things that I wouldn't say I have over them. I don't like to think about it that way, but like I have skills that I'm good at. I have strengths. They also have strengths.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Um, so for yourself, have a look. What are your strengths? What are the things that you're good at? What are the things that you can double down on, take advantage of, and focus on those things? Because obviously, yeah, you can develop your weaknesses, but double down on your strengths because it'll make ways for you. Like being able to talk to people, build connections, all of that kind of stuff. Having that as a strength has made things so nice for me because I've been able to build a community around myself of people who are like me. Yeah. But I've met people with organizational skills that like they could probably plan how the country should be run. I don't know. I don't necessarily have that. I have enough that works for me, but they've got systems in place that work for them. And that's their thing. I don't focus on doing their thing. I focus on doing my thing. So guys, do your thing, man. Find out what your thing is and do it. 100%.
It's also hard to compare yourself to people who are like half of your age because you got more experience through all this year. You developed some sort of skills, professionals, and even time management, etc., etc. And those are things that requires time to develop and practice. And when you just start in this journey, it, you didn't have that time to develop. You're still developing. You're still learning about yourself, about your thoughts, about your emotions, about how you can handle different situations. So it's really even unfair to compare yourself to anyone else.
Do you think being a student again has changed your perspective towards yourself?
Yeah, I would say so. Um, One thing I'm very big on is self-awareness. And this journey it has helped me. I don't want to say force, but it's put me in a position where I had to learn a lot about myself. Learn a lot about the way that I do things, why I do things, all of that kind of stuff. And actually, a very big part of that was understanding why I was afraid of starting uni, or understanding why I was afraid to pursue certain opportunities, or understanding why I do well at particular moments and why I flop in others. Um, but I've developed an appreciation also for the journey that I've taken. Because before I started, I still struggle with that mindset of, oh, you're behind, rare, rare, rare. You're supposed to have done, if you did this, you would have been here by now, rare, 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 rare. But now I've developed an appreciation for the journey that I've taken, because it's a bit of a different one. But if I didn't take this journey that I've taken now, I don't think I'd be half the person I am today. Do you know what I'm saying? So in terms of changing how I see myself, I've gone from, oh, you're behind, you're failing, you're this, you're that, 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 to actually, you're not doing too bad, man. Give yourself some grace. You're actually doing well, you're making some progress, you're putting yourself out there, and you're making the most of what life is giving you. So that bit of a switch, yeah, I had to do a lot of thinking and reflecting about that.
Self awareness is really important, and especially being grateful for how things have been in the past and the place where you are at. Would you like to add anything to it?
Yeah, I personally feel like time slowed down a little bit because when you live in this mode where you go into work, coming home, eating dinner, doing this, doing that, your course at home, and another day, same again, work, coming back home, dinner, playing with kids, doing this, doing that, and now it's completely different. You're going learning new things. Uh, Job is not that important to you. Like, if I don't want to go to work, I can just quit, find something else. That's not the most important thing right now. I need to focus on studying, and it feels like it's not like this time is rushing. So, if you know what I mean.
That's really interesting because slowing down really matters. And what would be something that you would say to someone who feels like it's too late, or it's the person feels like it's he or she is too old to get back to education? The last bit of advice that you would like to give.
I don't think it's ever too late to commit to something. You know, there's quite a few stories, different stories about the people who started things, started some of the biggest brands today at very late age, or what people would consider very late ages. Um, but I think the most important thing is that if you decide you want to do something, if you decide this is what you want, commit to it. The biggest thing is to commit to and start taking action. I'm such a big advocate for taking action. Whatever it is that you want to do, start now. The reason I say that is because the more and more you wait, it's either going to get more difficult, or there are going to be other things that, or other excuses that someone might use to delay whatever it is they're trying to do. Oh, maybe I'll wait till next year to do this thing. Maybe I'll wait. We just started 2026. Some people are already putting off their resolutions or whatever like that. My biggest thing, like, start now. And if you can, get some accountability on it as well. If you want to do that course, if you want to start your education, if you want to start a podcast, whatever you want to do, just take action. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to, like, there's no such thing as the right decision. You'll only know that after you've made it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So whatever you want to do, start it. Start it now. Like, and once you start it, keep on experimenting. Because once you actually start into action, you'll get a really good feeling for what you want and what you don't want.
I got a good example. My friend's father started uni in his late 50s. So now he's 65, something like that. He's doing a PhD in history. So it's never too late.
Very true. It's never too late. And thank you so much for being here. Just the end message for students that it's never too late to begin your journey. This is Brave Conversations, and I'm Dilpreet. Thank you so much.